Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day. Sorry that I couldn't be there today. You have already looked at the 6 different boxes to show you different forms of perspective. With what we're doing today, I want you to focus on linear perspective. So open up your sketchbook to a clean page. You're going to try to keep pace with me, but at the same time, I do know that I'm going kind of fast. So feel free to pause me to catch up. But also, I really want to encourage you to be aware that it's okay to make mistakes. Yours doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. As long as it's close to mine and you're getting the concept, that's all that matters. So the first thing you're going to do is go in and turn your sketchbook so it's going horizontal. And then you're going to take the ruler and you're going to put it in the center of your paper like mine is on my dry erase board. Next, you will draw a line from left to right. So now your paper should be kind of looks like it's cut in half. This is called our horizon line, and it's basically where the sky meets the earth. The next step is going to be to put a dot in the center of this line. This is called the vanishing point. And if you are going for that level 4 skill, it's really important that everything you draw lines up to that vanishing point. And if not, if you're what our next project will be, it'll help you with the level 3 skill as well. So our next step is going to be to take our ruler, and as you can see, I've lined it up with my vanishing point, and I've angled it down to the edge of my board. I'm going to make my first line, so I'm just going to go from the point down. Then I'm going to take my ruler and do the same thing again, but on the opposite side. So I'm making my ruler line up with the vanishing point, and I'm drawing my line from the vanishing point down, and you kind of want to keep the angle of the line similar. So what I mean by that is this line is angled about the same amount as this line. I wouldn't want this line to be angled all the way out here because it just wouldn't look quite right. So now you have this lovely picture. This will later become either a street or a walkway or a railroad. I will let you decide what you want it to be, and we will get into more detail with that later. So, congratulations. This was probably the trickiest part today. So our next step is going to be to use size change in our picture. So this is a skill that you did in first grade. So if you think way, way, way back, also remember the little video that you just watched filling out those boxes. So for the first thing we're going to do houses, and I know that this is a really simple house, and some of you probably want to add a ton of detail, and I would love for you to do that, but for right now, let's just focus on the basic shape of the house, and then if you have time, you can go back in later and add detail. So the first thing I did is I made a large house, and it's located, as you can see, at the bottom of my paper, and the roof is located um, on the horizon line. But feel free to make your house a little bit bigger than mine if you want to. The roof could go a little above the horizon line. As long as it's located at the bottom of the board like mine is, you should be good. So then the next step is going to be to make a medium house in the middle of your um, ground. So it should be located in the middle and it's medium size. Last, you will make a small house at the towards the top close to the horizon line. And so what it looks like the houses are traveling into the distance. If you were to take these houses and put them side by side, instead of looking like 3 houses that are the same size but in different places on the picture, it would look more like you have a dog house, a doll house, and a house. So it's really important that you pay attention to where you're placing them. They should be traveling along this roadway. So the other thing that's usually a common misconception is sometimes our houses go above the horizon line and they begin to fly, which I'm assuming a few of you are probably giggling at this point. It does look kind of funny, but it usually happens. So watch out, Dorothy. We don't need any flying houses. Um, So make sure it stays down below this line to show that the house is grounded. If it's above it, we're not really following the rules of perspective, and we will need to fix that to obtain our goal of a 3. So on this image, I went on and turned it into a street. So at this point, if you would like to do a street, you can, or you can hold off, and next I'm going to show you how to do a sidewalk and then a railroad. So same rule applies as it does to the houses. Your big medium line, so if you're driving down the road, the median, this should be the biggest right here. And then as you go into the distance, that median line should get smaller and smaller and smaller. But I did this with dry erase because if you look at it, this is a little bit bigger than this. So it's not perfect, but it's close to being where we need it to be. So in the next image, I did like a sidewalk, but this could easily be turned into a railroad. So same concept. You have a big line and it's spaced pretty far apart here. And as you go in, the spacing should get smaller and smaller and smaller. In fact, I should have probably fixed the spacing right here a little bit. If you wanted this to be like a railroad, you would just add another line right here and right here, basically add another line to each one of these sections, and that would give it that railroad feel. So that's our first practice. And now I don't know how you guys are on time, but if you have enough time, we can go on and do one more practice, and this time we're just going to be focusing with trees. So I kind of jumped ahead on some of the steps. So quick recap. First thing you're going to do is turn your page to a new sheet. Your book should be going horizontal. You will draw a horizon line across your paper with the ruler. Next, put your vanishing point in the middle. Then line your ruler up from the vanishing point down and do an angle. Then go from the vanishing point down, do your next angle. And pause me if you need to. Next, draw a tree that's going to follow the same rule as the houses. The tree that is at the bottom of the board should be the biggest. And you feel free, if you have time, to add a little bit more detail, but for right now, keep it kind of simple. Next, make your medium tree. You can either do what I did and jump across to the other side of the board, or you can keep the tree on this side of the board. You choose. So a big tree, medium tree, small tree. And now it looks like it's going into the distance. Look at your paper. Make sure you don't have any flying houses or flying trees. And then from this point, feel free to add a roadway, make this a roadway or a sidewalk. If you have time left, what you can do from this point on is you can turn to a third sheet in your sketchbook, and you can take what you have learned from this video and take what you learned from the previous video and attempt to make your own landscape. So if you want to try your hand at maybe some 3D buildings, go for it. Maybe instead of houses and trees, you want cats. That is fine too. Make it whatever you want, and just try your best. Okay, guys, thanks. Have a good rest of your day.